Thank you very much, everybody who's joining us today. Today we want to talk about companies' role in university education. We want to know more about the German model. And for that, we are honored to have as a guest Mr. Markus Braunert with us, who knows a lot about the German model, and he has worked for a long time in ABB. And just to give a bit of context, ABB is a leading company and technology company with a history of more than 130 years, with more than 100,000 employees in over 100 countries. And it has a portfolio that goes beyond working with connecting software to electrification, robotics, automation, and certainly supporting industries to become more productive. So thank you so much, Markus, with your time. You have a long history in ABB, especially as a human resource manager, and since 2006, managing ABB educational efforts with more than 1,000 students per year. So we're very interested in knowing more about your model, and thank you for sharing this time with us.
Thank you to have the chance to share the time with you.
That's gorgeous.
As a university, and specifically from engineering programs, we're especially interested in knowing more about your experience in these joint efforts for training ABB future engineers. Can you say briefly what are the highlights of the model and what's the main value that you see in it?
Yeah, the most important aspect, I will start with it and later on I will end with it, is the word of loyalty. It costs a lot of money to find somebody on the market, especially in Germany, and I believe it's the same situation in your home country. And with this model, we have the chance that somebody will start working with ABB, but is going for university degree. We will pay the lady or the young man, and after 3 years, they will start within ABB, and we have learned from the past, they will stay with ABB. The situation is as follows. If you normally leave school, and have the highest level in Germany, we say Abitur, the highest level after 12 years school. Then you have in your individual mindset, what should I do in the future? And then, for example, you have in your mind going for the human resources department. But it is a black box because you've never worked there. You have heard maybe something. And then you're going to university. And you have a lot of theoretical aspects concerning human resources. But you never worked there. And if you're then going to a human resources department, in which company ever, maybe you feel that this is not your passion, it's not your job, it's not the way you want to work for.
That's true.
And then maybe you have a problem, and then you say, okay, I will leave the company and go for another aspect. And if you see this dual way to study, you have the chance to learn within a company what's going on in the human resources department. And you learn what's going on in the accounting department. And you learn what's going on in the project management. And maybe then your individual mind changes. And after 2 years, you say, okay, I want to go for project management, or not furthermore for the human resources. And so we have the chance after 2.5 or 3 years that the young people we have paid for in these 3 years will start in this area. They feel from their individual behavior, this is the right place to work.
Right. That's very important.
And this is the way we generate loyalty. And be aware, I believe one of the examples you have at the moment as interview partner, I started with ABB in 1988 within this model, and I'm now a managing director in the company. And meanwhile, I say I'm not acting daily with a normal job. I have a passion to train young people, to give them a chance for the company, and to fulfill a really, really important aspect for ABB, to find the young people for our future, because we need them, especially in these hard moments we have at the moment.
And what would you say is the role of the company in this education model of future engineering? What's the main support and value that company provides to this model?
Yeah, at first it's the important point to find the young people on the market, because we decide which man or which lady will start with us. Yeah, it's not the university aspect. Yeah, our partner is the partner for training them on the theoretical aspects. Yeah, we find them on the market. And another very important point is that we have a really, really strong structure to work together with the DHBW concerning modern technique, concerning aspects in training young people, concerning what's going on in the technical world, that they train our young ladies and our young men in the right way. Yeah, that means it's really, really a partnership between university level and company level.
That's very, very important. Just to provide some background to our audience, we as an engineering school are also working with DHBW. This is the university in Baden-Württemberg region of Germany that works in this model for a long time. So just to provide some highlights, companies recruit these people before even they enter the university, and the students work every year in a model that alternates 3 months periods at the university with 3 months period at the company level. So students work for maybe 3 years in this model, alternating periods of time in the university and these periods of time at the company, and as you said, are also paid by the company. So do you think that students already feel employees of the company from the beginning, and how do they see this alternation or exchange period of times at the company and also at the university?
Yeah, I feel that they are, from the starting point, member of our company. I mentioned it in my first sentence, as I have spoken about the aspect of loyalty. I feel that the young people, after a few days, say to their parents, I'm a member of the ABB group. Yeah, and this is an aspect we train them. We always give them the information. You are one partner of the big, big ABB family. Yeah. So yeah, indeed, I feel that they are partners of ABB, and they feel so. Yeah. And on the other aspect, yeah, you are right. We find them on the market. Yeah. And we decide if they are in the team or not. And in the last years, we have typically 100 to 120 places per year to go for this study way, and we have more than 3,000 people want to go for it. That means we have a lot of work in front of us every year to find the people for our starting point. And in the last years, more than 96%, more than 96% of the young people we have trained in these 3 years stay with ABB. Sometimes, meanwhile, they go for a master, but then they go for a master degree together with ABB.
Okay, that's interesting.
So that means we have paid for them more than 1,000 euros gross per month. Yeah, that means for ABB it's a very, very high invest. But at the end of the day, not only from my point of view, also for all the members of the German board, they see this is an invest. Later on, we have only advantages.
Gorgeous. And how would you see this partnership between university and the company? What is the interaction process? How do you see they value or they add value together?
Yeah, this mean on the first side, it's not so easy to discuss, because typically if you are working on a university, all the people there believe they have only one boss, and that maybe is our grandfather. Yeah, yeah. But the real situation is as follows: the members of my team, the trainers, and the people working on university level, they are speaking together more than 3, 4, 5 times per month, discussing what is going on the theoretical aspect at university level, and on the other hand, what's going on the practical aspect within the company ABB. And what can we do to influence coming up from the company the way the theoretical aspect will be trained at university. Yeah? And I believe this is the main important key later on for the success, that we are acting together. Yeah?
Would you say
Be
then,
aware, sometimes we have problems, yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, we find a solution, because the modern technique is always coming from the enterprise. Yeah.
That's very important. Would you say then that students get better education through this model, and how does it work?
At the end of the day, I will say yes. Yeah, but be aware, we have the situation, if you have 3 years time and only 1.5 years at university level and the other 1.5 years working in the company, there's a difference to other people going for 3 years only theoretical aspects. Yeah, that means the deep theoretical knowledge coming from university maybe will be better, but for our target, for our structure, we believe that this is the better way, because these young people are not only trained on a bright way, they are also fulfilled if we are acting on a right way and do our job fulfilled with this. I mentioned it before, ABB blood. Yeah, and if you pay more than 80,000 euros here in Germany for these 3 years, yeah, to train the young people, and then they will stay in your company, then it is a success model.
So would you say at the end that ABB and the market gets better engineers through this model?
I would say yes. And again, yes. And the third time, yes.
Okay, that's a huge conclusion for this model. Can you say more about what type of skills and competences do you see will be needed in the future for professionals, and how does this model address the training necessary for that?
Therefore, I can only give the answers you will hear around the world at the moment. Yeah, we need young people. They should be well trained. They accept to be sometimes working in the south of Germany and 3 months later in the north of Germany. That means mobility is another aspect. Yeah, the third point we have is they should learn and learn and learn. I believe we all know, if you now started with a function, after 3, 4, 5 years, you have to change it. Yeah, not only because you want to change it, it's a must because your company is changing. Speaking about digitalization, or in Germany, we always have the word in our mindset is I 4.0, modern technique. Yeah, that means all our young people will be trained on a bright way. I believe this is another aspect than many years before, not on a deep way, trained on a bright way, open for the whole technique and open for the situation, what's going on around us. Yeah, that means we're speaking in Germany, and I believe it's meanwhile in the whole world, lifelong learning. Yeah, that means it's not only the 3 years they will be trained in our training center together with our partners in the plants. They will be trained the next 20 or 30 years. Yeah. One example, if we speak about robotic, 10 years ago, nobody has in his mind, yeah, that we're speaking about, for example, collaborative robotic aspects. Meanwhile, we have robot arms working together with human beings in our plants. Yeah, we need this to be successful on the market, and therefore we need young people who are always accepted. We have to learn new structure, we have to learn more, and we've been free and accept this aspect. Yeah.
That's certainly very, very important. Let me ask you another question. Do you think, Marcus, that this model is useful only for certain industries or for certain type of companies, or do you think it is broader than that?
No, I believe it's useful for all companies, and it's not a question if they're coming from the electrotechnical or the metal side, or I mentioned it before, from the healthcare side. If I see especially here the situation in the city of Mannheim, we have more than 6,000 partners from different structures, yeah, coming from Texas, going to ABB, for example, going to Bosch, to Siemens, to Daimler, yeah, and going back to smaller companies, yeah. From my point of view, it's a need for all of them, and it could be a success story for all of them. But be aware, the most important aspect is, if somebody is coming from university, till the first day this person will arrive in your company, it's a no-name. You have normally never seen them, have not acting together with them. But the people in this system, you act with them as the first day they are students. And if you want to have success and want to have a success story, then you should accept that they are students. You should accept that they have to learn, and you should give them all alternatives in your company that later on they will work on the right place.
Right. It's very interesting from the student point of view, certainly, that they are able to learn from the beginning from the company, to know more about the company, culture, procedures, products, clients, but also that they are able to learn different types of work within the company. What would you say from the student's perspective is the main value that they see in this model?
Yeah, at first, and this should be clear, yeah, this is the model we have in Germany. The first important aspect is they earn money every month.
Sure.
Yeah, if you're going to university, you have the aspect, maybe you have to work in the evening, in a restaurant, in a cafe or something else to earn the money you need for housing and so on. Yeah, here the young people are paid. I believe this is a real important aspect, and it's not fair to say this is not an important one. Yeah, and the second important one is that these young people say, okay, going to this individual aspect, there are small groups at university level, 25, 30 people, well trained in theoretical aspects. They have the chance, yeah, to speak with their professor. They have the chance for questions. Yeah, it's another situation than acting at university level, where you are one of 800 or 1,000 people in a big room, no chance for asking. Yeah, and the third aspect, and I believe this is also an important one, yeah, you have some people in the company you can always ask. That means there's a small second backbone. Not only your backbone, you have a backbone in the company. Yeah, you can ask people there to give you answers to questions maybe you have not understand what's going on at university level. And I believe these are the three main important points young people decide to go for this way to study.
Why would you recommend Chilean companies to participate in a model such as this one? For example, with our School of Engineering, where we're training future professionals for the market, why should they join us, and why should they participate in this model?
Yeah, I can give you the same answer I've given a few years ago in another structure. A few years ago, let me give you some sentences. Yeah, in the Lebanon, they started with a dual system. Yeah, and for me, it's very interesting. Not in Israel, so on the Palestine side. Yeah, and they have asked me the same question. And meanwhile, they are very successful. And they are successful because now the young people with an individual aspect of marketing of the companies have understand the advantages of the system. And if the young people have understand it, yeah, they will, from their individual aspect, they will be partner of companies. And the companies should understand, if they train the young people, then maybe in the future they will have the same success than ABB. And the success is that the people will stay in your company, the well-qualified people, and you have not go to the market and search and pay for search for another ones. Yeah? And if I now speak with the companies on the Palestine side, they also say, Mr. Braunert, everything is right you have mentioned a few years before. We couldn't believe it, but now we see the success.
Actually, we're starting this project nowadays with the HBW at our School of Engineering, and the students actually highlight the same point that you mentioned. We are very happy about finalizing our students and getting a degree with a lot of professional experience, and that certainly makes a lot of difference. They feel that they are adding value to the company, but also they feel more confident that they are able to work better understanding the needs of the company, and also how their skills can be better useful for the company, or even for a different company if they want to change. In your experience, I understand that most of students stay at the same company. So can you clarify that for us? Because from the employability side, we would also believe that this is useful. Is that correct?
Yeah, typically from the employability, it is correct. Yeah, they are well trained and have a chance on the market. Yeah, but if you see the real situation, you started with ABB in this case now, yeah, and ABB has paid a lot of money for you, and in the first 3 years, many people will help you to go to your final examination, and then you are successful, and then you have the chance to start with this company. At the end of the day, why you should leave?
Right.
Yeah, if the company normally pays roughly the same monthly salary than other companies, why you should leave? Yeah, you are trained there, you have find friends there, you have partners there. Yeah, and this is the success story at the end of the day. Yeah, yeah? And this is why more than 95%, I mentioned it before, at the moment 96.3% of the young people finish their study time will stay with the company. Yeah, they are member of the ABB family. Yeah, so there's no need to leave.
Sure. And going, for example, into ABB type of business. You are in the technological business. You definitely want to support other companies or industries to be more productive. Would you say that this model applies better for this industry? Or in other words, do you think that engineers working, for example, in technological industries can have here also a good training model for themselves?
I believe at the end of the day, it's also a success story for ABB. Yeah, because meanwhile, this dual study is not only ABB as a partner acting on it. Yeah, many other companies, and so the people speaking together with from different companies, sometimes a customer, yeah, have the same background. Yeah, and this is a big advantage. From my point of view, yeah, our young people understand the process, and so they can speak on another way, on another level with their partners in industry. But an important point is, and I believe this is important also for your clients. If ABB is looking for someone in the research and development department, typically these young people not coming from the DHBW. Yeah, because therefore we need much more theoretical knowledge, and there are the young people coming from university. But speaking with our customers, speaking about the targets, for example, to reduce energy or something else in your company, then our young people are well accepted because they understand the whole process we have. Yeah, and so from my point of view, it's a typically advantage if the young people are acting on the market for ABB.
What other aspects of the model would you highlight that we have not discussed so far?
My highlight is, in this structure, I have a chance to have an individual influence. Yeah, I have more than 250 young people actually on the DHBW for their study structure. And so if I have individual interests and needs coming up from the technique of ABB, I can speak with my partner, and together we find a solution that maybe the young people will be trained, for example, on ABB products, on the theoretical aspect, yeah, for example, on PLCs, yeah, and then we have the chance later on, yeah, that we work together not only on the theoretical aspect, also on the practical one, yeah. If I have in my aspect a typical university, ABB is only one partner of 200 or 300. On the DHBW, we have the chance to speak with the professor and the leading aspects there and find solutions. And this is very, very important for us. Yeah.
Something also that companies are very concerned in Chile and around the world is about the retention of talent. So I would say that this is not only useful for getting or recruiting new professionals and develop their skills properly, but also for retention in the long term. Does it work that way for your experience?
Yeah, it will work. I give you another example. Many international groups arriving in my training center and have a 3 or 4 hour speak together with me. And they are asking what's going on in the dual system in Germany. Yeah, why you are so successful. And at the end of the day, it's always the same question. It's a question of money. Yeah. And then I always give all the groups, for example, in the last 3 years, many groups coming from China, the same information. If you hire the young people, pay for them, train them, and let them be a partner of your individual company system, they will stay. If you train them like all the other people, no individual aspects, maybe they will leave. And so the question is, if you want to be successful with the system, you have to do a lot, acting together with these young people, show them what chances they have in your company, not only on the hierarchy level, maybe on a different position in the sales structure or in the service structure. And then they will stay with you. And I can always say, I mentioned it before, more than 96% of the young people will stay with ABB. Why will they stay with ABB and not going to Daimler or going to VW? Meanwhile, this is their home. Yeah, they have ABB blood. Yeah, and if you're always speaking about the aspect, if I will train them, I'm in fear that they will leave, then you will never be successful. By the way, this is the biggest problem in China. If the international groups are here, they always give me the information. All the companies are in fear. They will pay a lot of money and then the young people will leave. Yeah, but if this is in your mindset, you will never have success. Because then you can always discuss if I start from the A or going to the Z in the alphabetic aspect. Yeah? Yeah? You have to go the first steps. And meanwhile, in Germany, we fulfill this not only for the 42 years of this dual way to study. Our dual system, meanwhile, is 500 years old. Yeah? And it is successful because we have the chance and find solutions that the young people accept to stay, maybe only the first 5 to 10 years, to stay within their company where they will be trained. And I believe each country in the world has the same chance. But the companies have to understand that this is an invest. And they have to do something, not only to pay for them. There are many hard facts, and hard facts is always the money aspect. But if young people should stay in your company and should fulfill all the aspects you need to be successful, there are many soft issues.
It is very interesting that also this experience you've been developing from the beginning and has more than 40 years of success in Germany. So what would be your invitation for Chilean companies and for Chilean universities to participate and to develop this model?
Yeah, this is really easy, and only 2 words. Oh no, 3 words. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, this aspect, from my point of view, it's the best one we have in Germany. Yeah, and if it's working in Germany, and meanwhile also in the neighbor country, a little bit in Switzerland and a little bit in Austria, it will also work in Chile, and it will work in Brazil, and it will work in South Africa. Yeah, and by the way, we have some international companies, not ABB, sorry, yeah, but looking for the IT company SAP. Yeah, meanwhile they have dual system in Brazil. I know, because the SAP is only 25 kilometers far away from here, and the managing director of the training center is a good friend from me. Yeah, and if we are speaking about a system, yeah, you always say the best expert at the moment SAP can realize is the expert of training people. Yeah, and then we have success in the company. And I believe this is the main important aspect. And then now it's not an ABB answer, it's an SAP answer. And I hope my colleague, Mr. Bell, will also accept that I will give you this information.
Any final thoughts, Marcus, that you would like to share with us? Yeah, it's been very interesting. Any final thoughts?
No final thoughts. I only will say I keep my fingers crossed that you will be successful. That the most important point we have around the world is train our youth. Train our youth and find solutions that we can save our planet. Yeah, and therefore we need all the young people, and we need all the power of the young people. Yeah, we see it at the moment concerning the same situation you have than we have here in Germany and in Europe on the pandemic aspect. Yeah, we need all our power to find solutions for it. Yeah, and therefore, again, I keep my fingers crossed that you will be successful with this.
Well, thanks so much, Marcus. Congratulations in all you've achieved. And thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. We're very excited about this project. We definitely want to learn more from your experience, and you've been very supportive. And in the end, collaboration is also an essential component of this model between companies and universities. So thanks so much, and hope to see you sometime here in Chile, or maybe we in Germany, and good luck.
This could be an interesting aspect. If you have the chance, you and your team coming to Germany, you are always welcome to see what's going on here in the ABB Training Center. Yeah, that you have the chance not only to hear from Mr. Marcus Braunert, what we have realized, that you can see it with your own eyes.
Well, that would be great. We hope that that will be possible in the future. Pandemia is nowadays a difficulty around the world for this, but again, thanks so much, Marcus, and a big hug from here in Chile. Cheers, and thank you again for your time.